first story comes from Yorkshire, and a man who, after 20 years of searching, has failed to find any trace of his mother. He's now a grandfather, and he came to us knowing that we could be his last chance of finding his mother.
What's that in there? Is that a stable?
58-year-old Peter Arundel has devoted his life to raising his family. But the identity of his own mother has always been a mystery to him. Now, even though he's a grandfather, his desire to find her is as strong as ever.
I hope that he finds the missing part that's there at the moment, because although he's got an intact family and he loves us to pieces, there is that one piece missing.
What else can we see?
It's family. It's everything. Everything. And I need to find mine now. And she needs to know me.
From that time were private and often arranged by GPs or midwives. These adoptions were often known to only a handful of people, with very few records kept, as the shame of an illegitimate birth was so huge. So all we had to go on was Peter's adoption certificate, which named his mother as Elsie Bourne, maiden name Phillips, and it appeared that Elsie had married shortly after giving Peter away. We found the record of a marriage to a Michael Bourne and the birth of a son, Reginald Bourne. We hoped they could lead us to Elsie.
Reginald Bourne is my Uncle Pete.
Of them living anywhere. So we extended our search to include more distant relatives of the Bourne family, and eventually tracked down a relation in South Africa. They told us that Michael, Elsie's husband, had died in 1969, and that Elsie had remarried, but they had no idea where she or her son Reginald were now.
I want to interject at this point in the video just to state that my mother had actually been born at this point. She was born in February of 1960. So it wasn't just my Uncle Pete, aka Reginald. My mum was alive as well.
So we went back to the records and we saw that an Elsie Bourne had married a Joseph Brockbank in the early 70s.
My grandpop.
Could this be the Elsie we were looking for? I can't imagine how Elsie's feeling. Maybe she's moved on from it all forever. And here I am, about to ask her to relive it all. Elsie.
There's my granny.
Do come in.
Thank you so much. Very nice to see you.
And you.
A lovely warm house.
Oh, it's something I've always hoped that would happen. I just wished you could have found me sooner.
What are your memories of Peter when he was tiny?
Oh, he was lovely. He really was. He was ever such a good little baby. But he was always hungry. He really was a hungry baby.
So going back to those years ago, and nearly 60 years ago, I guess.
But it was hard. Small village, tight community. I was the one that got pregnant. Nobody wanted to know you then. In those days, it was a stigma, a terrible stigma to get pregnant before marriage.
How old were you?
17. He was an American airman. We were going out together for quite some time. I discovered I was pregnant. So I told him, and he said, "Oh, that's wonderful, we'll get married." But I never saw him again, because he was married and had 2 kids back in America. When I had to tell my parents, there was no understanding, no help. You couldn't step out of line, not with my dad. He was a hard man, very, very strict.
Did anyone suggest abortion?
My dad did. And I said, no way. I had 2 choices. It was abortion or the naughty girls' home.
You call it the naughty girls' home, the mother, the mother and baby.
Mother and baby home. So they put me into the naughty girls' home in Lincoln, the Quarry. That's where I stayed until I had him.
How long were you with him?
Well, Peter was with me for 4 weeks, and then he was gone.
Do you remember that day?
Oh, yes.
Talk me through that day. What happened?
My dad, he was with me all the time. He would not leave. Wants to make sure that I gave Peter away. There's no point in getting upset. It's happening, and that's that. It was a hell of a day that day.
He spent a lifetime, every day, asking, who is she? Where is she? What's she doing? I can tell Peter the answers to those questions. Hi, Peter.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Come in.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Well, obviously, it wasn't going to be easy because the evidence wasn't there.
Yeah.
And so it was going to be difficult from the start. But we have found her mother. Peter's travelled down from Yorkshire to meet his mother in Lincoln. They've arranged to see each other at the former mother and baby home where Elsie gave birth to Peter almost 60 years ago. It's now part of a boarding school.
When you meet Peter, have you thought about what you're going to say?
Take it as it comes. Don't believe in rehearsing something as important as this.
This is the first time Elsie's been back since she gave Peter away when he was just a few weeks old.
Does it look like it's changed much?
Not terribly, no. The lawns down here is where we used to park all the babies with the prams. A race to get the best spot in the sunshine for them.
I've come to Peter's hotel to accompany him to the reunion. How you doing?
Okay. Big day.
Yes.
Big day.
So this is where I'm going to take him away, I'm afraid, Carol. So let's go and say goodbyes and we'll be off.
See you soon.
Back. Good luck. Okay.
I'll be a bit.
Okay.
See you soon.
I'll take good care of him, I promise.
I'm going to leave you.
Bye, darling.
I'm trying to imagine that the era needed to have places like this.
Yeah.
How sad that girls and families had to be separated.
What are your hopes?
That she loves me. That's all I can ask. Because she's my mum. Yeah. That's all I want. Don't want any fireworks. Don't want any dancing girls. Just want my mum now.
So, this is it.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm not what you expected.